Eric Shuster.
Thank you, everybody. This is it's pretty cool. I want to just thank a bunch of people. First of all, my family, my brother, my dad, my fiance that's here. Kennedy is just amazing to me, and I want to. When you look at this community and you see the people that are involved, and that's why I decided to give back. You have Mr. Ripito and Mr. Schultz. I mean, you think of them as your teachers, and I know there are other teachers here, so I don't want to, but you think of them as your teachers, but they're like your family, and I think that's the great thing. And, I know Mr. Schultz came in from Florida, but people don't realize these are, and I said this before, these are like your children, and then the love that the teachers have, Mr. Rubens, you've been amazing, for me.
You're good.
A couple other people, George Ocker, when I started my foundation, and to see George Ocker come back to Kennedy, and the guy that I'm proud of you, Aaron, and everybody, but I known Aaron when my dad coached him, and I was probably 4 or 5 years old. People don't know, in 7th grade, I got the coolest job I've ever had. And I was the water boy for the varsity football team, and he was the most amazing player. I remember, and don't get me wrong, Eric and Curtis are up you guys are all 3, so I'm not. But Aaron Backer, I used to hold the water bottle for Aaron, and I used to tell all the linemen, no, Aaron gets the water bottle. So I used to hold it. He was unbelievable. And then I look around, and then you see athletes, the 2 guys that I looked up to, and I had met Curtis many times through the Aspen Hill Club and some other places, but you always heard about, Curtis and what he did in the community, and what he did on the field was just unbelievable. And Eric McMillan, I want to congratulate you as well, because in 1992, when I was coaching the girls team, you brought back, and you were one of my inspirations as well. You brought a charity basketball game, which was the best charity I've ever been to, and he brought an array of NFL players, and it was like, whoa. And I actually got to coach that game, and we'll talk about it a little later, because we had a pretty good team. You know that one. You remember that one? We had some ringers. That wasn't my fault. I just coached them. So, it was. But hey. So, and I'll make this kind of quick, but I also, when I started my foundation, obviously my family and my friends are here, but there's one guy that came here tonight, and everything I've ever done in the community, he's supported, and I just wanted to quickly point him out, is Tressway of the Washington Redskins. It's our punter there. Every event that I've ever done, Tress has come to. And I gotta tell you, I've done 6 events, and we did a happy hour. And then I know and this is another story, but when the coach was struggling with cancer at Kennedy, it was Tressway and Dustin Hopkins and Mike Sellers that drove all the way out on a rainy Friday night from Ashburn, Virginia. So, Tress, thank you, because you've been everything I've ever asked for, and I asked a lot, sorry. But I just want to leave you with this. Listen, I wasn't the athlete that these guys were, but the respect I have for them, obviously what they did on the field, but the community. And that was a big thing to me, was to give back to this community. This is where I'm from. Wheaton Boys Club is here, and that's how we all started. And I know Diallo the same way. And Diallo's done a great job too. I don't mean to leave you out. But we all started in this community, and that was my thing, was to come back to this community and give back. Because it's very easy to leave here, as you left here and always kept it in. Same with Kurt. It's very easy to leave, but the most important thing is to give back. Because if you give, you will receive, and it's the best thing I ever done was started my foundation, and the most fun I've ever had. And Tress knows that we've done a lot of things through the years, but the most fun that I've ever had is giving money back and giving the check back every year. Because this is where we came from, and none of us are anything without this community. And there's so much pride in our high school, and I get around a lot in this community, and people say, well, I went to this school, went to that school, this private school, this college, but when they say Kennedy, there's a special pride that we have. And I know, Mr. Rubens, you've done an amazing job, but just remember, any chance you have to give back to this community, you'll feel great, and these kids deserve it. There are some great kids there. Every time I walk through the hall, and I trust we went to we talked to those kids that time. They're great kids, but we have to support them, and that's why I obviously, I try to do that. So thank you guys.